All right, y'all, we back. Another episode. Slam presents No Pump Fakes, the greatest basketball podcast in the world. In today's episode, we're going to do things a little different, all right? So we're going to redraft the 2016 NBA draft, all right? We are going to redraft the 2016 NBA draft. Now, we're not finna do all 60 names, you feel me? Because, you know. But we are, you feel me? But we are, you know what I'm saying, about to list out some names. And we've done like drafts on the lows of keys before, but it hasn't been like scheduled. It hasn't been like, we just been kind of, you know, I think we did that with like mids and isolation scores.
Yeah.
But so this one, you know, we got an actual draft class. And we going start from number 1 and then go to, let's say, 24. If, you know, we might, number might be
24.
Yeah.
Start with Bean's number.
Right, there you go.
Start with Bean's number. That's fine.
So I think the rule should be similar to, again, the way we did it before. Whoever gets first pick, right? The next person gets 2 straight picks, and then the other person gets 2 straight picks, and then so on and so forth. Does that work for you?
That's fine with me. Cause you want to go first?
All right, let's do it.
Don't matter to me.
Don't want to go first. You want to go first? You want to get the number 1 pick?
Don't matter to me.
All right, let's get it going. I'll go number 1. All right. So for those of y'all watching on lovelyyoutube.com, I've seen my phone in my hand to see the lovely names and players that I have on my team. So let's get this draft started. All right, let's get this redraft started of the 2016 NBA draft. Number 1 overall pick. I'm gonna go with the former Laker himself, the Duke product, Brandon Ingram. That's who I have at number 1. Okay. Tremendous ability to score the basketball. I know he's in a tough situation right now. But I still think that even though we're talking about 2016, that he has a bunch of potential. I think, again, a lot of this depends on overall fit. Just want to see BI thrive. And I know, obviously, this is a draft with 60 players. I know it's a very top-heavy draft. But number 1 overall, I'm going to go with Brandon Ingram. That's who you feel me, get this thing started with. You like the pick? You have mixed feelings about it?
I have no mixed feelings. Would have been my number 1 overall pick.
Maybe I should let you go first then. Damn.
I agree. Yeah, it would have been Brandon Ingram. So I'm going 2-3.
Yeah,
so
you got 2 or 3. I'm cool with Brandon Ingram at 1 though.
Of
I
course,
am. I don't, you know.
Who had the second pick? The Lakers had the second pick overall.
Yeah.
Next.
I know it could be a toss up for some people, but you know.
Lakers and the Boston Celtics. If I'm the Lakers, probably give me Jaylen Brown. I'll probably take Jaylen Brown at the 2. I mean,
let me knock off some of these people off my list so that way I know who you got. All right.
Take Jaylen Brown at the 2. We would never get to see or witness the best young wing tandem in the league right now if that was the case, because the Lakers, well, then again, who knows, because Jaylen Brown would have eventually got traded for Anthony Davis, most likely. So so anybody that's really the second overall pick is getting traded. And then for number 3 was the Boston Celtics, give me Ben Simmons. I mean, 3-time All-Star, best defender in the league, still, especially when we talk about on the perimeter, can guard 1 through 5 on the basketball court. Like, he's lethal. And, people talking about like things that like he doesn't do, but he does everything else well. So you talking about shooting, but he does everything else well. And I think like the pairing of him and the pair of him and Jason Tatum would be kind of special if it did happen, because you have a guard that can pass the ball, get Jason Tatum some easy shots. If that was the case, I'll take Jaylen Brown at the second pick for the Los Angeles Lakers. I'll take Ben Simmons for the Boston Celtics at number 3.
You have to good start so far. I mean, you got Ben Simmons,
of course,
as well as it's easy. And the top 3 is easy. It's not,
it gets nasty, to be honest.
No, it might. It might. We still got some picks to run through. But I'm not mad at it. Jaylen and Ben, obviously in the real draft, Ben going number 1. But I mean, I get the adjustments, and even obviously, it wouldn't have mattered which one you went with at like 3 or 2, because you still would have got them both. But do you have a reason why you went with Jaylen at 2 instead of Ben at 2?
Not really. It could have been either or, to be honest. I mean, I just felt that what the Lakers probably needed was probably like a score of the basketball. a guy that can put the ball in the hoop, especially if, Kobe Bryant during that time was, on the back end of his career and stuff like that. So I think Jaylen Brown would have came in and helped the Lakers right away. But then again, who knows? Because Jaylen Brown had to really develop. He's not who he came into the draft as basically a defensive-minded stud, and then he developed into this, like, elite 3-level player that we see right now in the Boston Celtics. So if we just base it on that, then maybe Ben Simmons could have been the better choice because, like, he was the most ready NBA player in the draft, the 2016 NBA draft. So, I mean, it's a toss-up. It's really based on, like, preference and play style, to be honest.
Right. All right, so we got Jaylen and Ben Simmons are off the board. So I'm going to say this, though, right? We are now three picks in. I'm not going to lie to you. I got some undrafted guys on my board, too.
Well, who got undrafted? That's not.
I'm not going to say it now, but that's what I'm saying. I want to say it.
I don't know because I don't know these names. Then if that's how we coming.
We got. You trust me. In a draft with 60 players, just know that some of those undrafted guys out of that 2016 year were a lot better now than some of those other guys that got drafted, and it is what it is. But yeah, it's put like this. So far, it's no one that obviously have gotten picked in our draft in the top 3, but there are some undrafted players that, have gotten pretty busy over the course of their career. So, all right, you just went with Jaylen Brown and Ben Simmons. Okay. So, for me, yeah, I like these next 2 picks. We can get active. For me, I'm going to go with number 4. I got a man, Jamal Murray. Shout out to Duke. Shout out to Denver. But I like Jamal just in terms of, obviously, we saw what he did in the playoffs. I think he's been, even prior to that, underappreciated, I'll say. Obviously, everyone talks about Jokic, and now people have, started to talk about him as well as MPJ. But before, I think overall the talk in Denver was just about Jokic. And I think you've been on record saying before, kind of like how if they really want to win and reach that championship level, some of that is going to have to be on Jamal in terms of like really, really being that guy that puts them over the hump. Obviously, I know injuries are a thing now, but even just kind of coming out of college and just seeing what he did at that level, and now, in the pros, if I had to take him at the four spot, I'm definitely cool with it. And again, I think the ability to put the ball in the basket is something that can be transferable wherever you go, right? Mm-hmm. I think that is that skill. It doesn't always matter about fit. If you can score, you can score. You know what I'm saying? And he's a winner too. I think he's a very selfless guy. Shout out to our friends up north. You feel me? But also, in addition to shouting out to our friends up north, I got someone else up north.
Now, what you mean? Hold on. You pick first, and I get 2 more.
You got your 2. What you mean?
And then you pick another one. I thought it was like,
I get
that.
2.
You doing like that? Okay, fine.
So after I pick 1,
you
pick that. 2, I pick 2, you pick 2. Yeah.
You ain't say that. All right. Now you want to pick my guy. You talking about up north? Because I was gonna pick him.
All right. Well, we got Spicy P.
Yeah, it's crazy because you should have picked somebody over him. But
no,
first.
I'm cool. I'm cool.
Go ahead.
I'm going to Spicy P at number 5.
Yeah.
You feel me? NBA champion. Everyone knows the story and overall obstacles and everything like that he had to get through to get that chip. But he is a winner, obviously. And yeah, I'm cool with it. I know there's obviously been a lot of comparisons to Pascal, but I think he's definitely a unique player. In terms of what he kind of brings to that Raptors organization, his role on that team, overall consistency. I know it's kind of
missing piece. Missing piece for a championship contender. Like somebody need to go out and get him. He's special. Memphis Grizzlies. Go get him. Go get him. He'll take you over the hump. He will take you over the hump.
Yeah. And that's another thing too, right? Is like when we see like star players, in certain situations where they might be lower in the standings, how different it would be if they were on a different team that was like truly, truly in contention for winning a championship. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, we look at these players in a completely different light, even though Pascal is already a champion, right? Putting him on a team that's actually winning even more games now. But yeah, so those are my back-to-back players. I got Jamal Murray and Pascal Siakam.
I'm picking one. I'm picking for the Oregon Pelicans.
You got 2.
Yeah,
The team, honestly, the team doesn't matter. I mean, to me, like,
okay,
you know,
wait, it don't matter if we just picking. All right, bet. So
yeah, like, it don't matter.
we have 6 right now. 6.
We have 5. You're pick 6. Yeah,
6. Deontay Murray.
Okay.
Of course.
Kind of saw that coming.
Should have picked him. He should have been ahead of probably Pascal for overall upside and ceiling and potential stuff like that. When he's a stud, 2-way player, plays hard on the defensive side of the floor. He's coming into his own on the offensive side in the year 2022. I think the Spurs have a guy that can be their franchise point guard for the immediate future, for the next 7-8 years. And hopefully that the San Antonio Spurs draft some guys and maybe they get a guy in free agency. I don't see that happening because nobody goes to San Antonio in free agency. Shit, they're not even going to Dallas to play with Luka. So let alone they going down to San Antonio. Talk about ain't nothing to do. Family place. So
hey, I mean San Antonio, some vibes.
Yeah, and they like Houston and Dallas, and people ain't going to Dallas and play with Luka right now. So it's a struggle right now to get free agents to go to Dallas historically. So definitely gonna have to draft and do some things in the draft. So give me Mary. Ooh, number 7. Oh man, I guess give me
lucky number 7. Who you got?
I guess give me some people would say Sabonis. Give me Karis LeVert. I'll take Karis LeVert. 3-level scorer.
That's a gem. That's a gem.
If he's healthy, he can be. He can do a lot of great things. He's playing well with the Cleveland Cavaliers right now. It's a guy, like I said, can score in a variety of ways, instant buckets, and also can knows how to play a role. Like if you need him to be the third option, he can be the third option. You need him to be the first option on some nights, he can be the first option. So he's a talented player. It's just like over the course of his career, it's just been like injuries that's kind of stopped him from reaching his full potential, but he's still a stud.
Yeah, and like there's a group of players that get talked about often when in terms of, obstacles that they've had to overcome, just overall injuries. And to me, like the obvious names that might get mentioned a lot is like Derrick Rose, even Paul Pierce, Jeff Green. Like when you really know these players' stories, it starts to hit even more like, oh shit, like they're actually, the hell with playing in the NBA, like they're actually playing well. That, means even more. But I think Karis LeVert is also, or should be a part of that group. And to know, what I'm saying, that he's still handling business, of course. I'm not mad at that pick. I'm really not. I kind of didn't want you to say it for obvious reasons. Yeah. But I'm not mad at it. I get it. Okay, so you got DeJounte Murray, and then you followed up with Karis LeVert, right? All right, so yeah. So I got 2 guys. First one, you already said, Sabonis. You feel me? And it's crazy, man. Like what I think being in a market where not a lot of people, are talking about you, or a market that may not be that popular, how that can impact how players and overall media can feel about you. You feel me? Like, has Sabonis been on the Lakers? Who knows? Has Sabonis been on the Knicks? Who knows? But I'm not saying that we would, be calling him Tim Duncan. I'm just saying that, like, there would be, I think, a little bit more attention to him. And that's the case with a lot of players. But
I mean, he made an All-Star game. I mean, he's a traditional big playing in a modern day era where bigs can do just way more than he can do. Like I like Sabonis. I think he's a solid player, but like I told you when that trade happened with the Sacramento Kings and Indiana Pacers, nobody really got better. It was just like, all right, let me drop my core guys off to your core guys. I mean, like I like Tyrese Halliburton. He has a lot of potential upside, so maybe we'll look back in a couple of years from now and think like the Indiana Pacers really won that trade. But like Sabonis, he's solid. He's a solid big man. Like he's an 18 and 12 guy, but at the end of the day, can't play defense really, can't stretch the floor. So it's just kind of like those are 2 things you want your bigs to be able to be capable of doing, especially like if they're not necessarily like as skilled or as all around as like a Jokic or like a Giannis or like a Joel Embiid. Like you at least want them to be able to do one of those things really well. If you can't shoot outside as a big, all right, cool. Can he rim protect? If he can't rim protect, can he shoot outside? Sabonis, as great as he is, he's a pick and roll threat, pick and pop from the second level on the basketball court, but he's not like a guy that's really gonna, move the needle unless he's on a championship caliber team. Like if he's on a team where he can be that third or fourth option. But other than that, playing the Sacramento Kings, like on the Sacramento Kings, it's just like, all right, it's a cool pickup. You know, him and De'Aaron Fox are a duo, but they're not going to win no games for real.
Well, I mean, you mentioned with this being a guard heavy league, and with the way the league is heading to a lot of ball handlers around the league. But that's exactly why, if anything, why I like Sabonis here. It's because the amount of like true bigs that actually have like post moves and can play that role well is very, very small. So like it's kind of been a watered down position, if you will. And when you kind of think about the overall art of having those skills of being able to score on the low block, even though we might appreciate it from old basketball, it's not as common, unfortunately, today. And I think, him being like a willing passer, just an overall player, I think that overall helps a franchise, But yeah, to your point about that trade is like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like it happened. It was cool. Some Kings fans were mad they lost Tyrese.
Yeah. Only reason I said that because you were talking about like, if he's going to a different market and stuff like that. He don't talk for real. Like he's a guy that just, keeps himself. He's not really personable. And we know how to, the more personal you are, the more like advantages that you may have in this league. And kind of, more so than other players, that tends to happen. Even with, how narratives come negatively and positively. So it goes both ways. But I just feel like no matter what market he was in, I just feel like that's just going to be Sabonis. And like I said, he's a good player. He's a all-star caliber player some years, maybe. Like he may have a, Nikola Vucevic is the same way. Like they're all-star caliber players. Like maybe one year they may go to the all-star game, but maybe a lot of years they're probably not. But still, they still have great all-star like talent. That's Sabonis. Like he's not. That's who he is. But like for us, like expecting him to be the second best player on a team. A bad team, yeah, okay, but not like really a good team. So he's like, but definitely a top 10 pick in this draft.
Oh yeah,
like
for sure.
And like I said, it gets nasty. This draft gets nasty. Like it's because I'm lost already of who to pick next. I know it's your turn. I know it's your turn still.
Yeah, but I say you be lost. That's fine with me. So yeah, I'm gonna cheat a little bit, but that's fine. I don't care. So this next pick, he wasn't drafted, so that helps you out.
You already starting too early if you talking about undrafted picks.
Not at all. Not when I tell you who it is.
Who?
Fred VanVleet.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. That's
yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what you mean. That's who I'm saying. It ain't like, what I'm saying? We got a bunch of undrafted guys. I think they're about to be like Hall of Famers, so let me mark this down. Fred VanVleet, it's crazy to know that he was undrafted. Undrafted to NBA champion. And I think about, when we think about obviously what he's done, again, with the Raptors franchise, him being able to score the ball, but also facilitate. It's hard to hate on Fred VanVleet. I think, kind of what overall Toronto and that Raptors team is still doing. I know post-Kawhi era and post-superstar era can always be tough for an organization. You think about Cleveland, even Miami, right? Losing LeBron and stuff. But I do like what they're doing, especially with their core group. Acquiring Gary Trent Jr., rookie Scotty Barnes. And I think, too, though, like, with their experience, right, in the finals, when we talk about Fred as well as Pascal, it's going to play a huge part come playoff or play-in time. But, yeah, man, I like Fred VanVleet here. I guarantee you a lot of GMs, if they had to do it over, would have drafted Fred VanVleet. So I like him right here.
What is that? 9? That's 10?
That is, was that 9? So yeah, you got it. You got 2.
10, 11. Give me Buddy Hield, specialist, 3-point specialist, a marksman in this league.
Okay.
Another guy that needs the right opportunity, that can be a very, very, very great player in the right situation. Everybody needs shooting in this league. Everybody needs guys that can spread the floor. Every team needs a player that can really like just shoot the lights out. Like most of these championship like contenders have guys like that. Look at Duncan Robinson with the Miami Heat. Special talent. Like every team could use a player like Buddy Hield. You look at the Golden State Warriors, they got Klay Thompson, but like imagine like Buddy Hield being on the Milwaukee Bucks or something, having a marksman for Giannis just to kick out all the time too. Like it gets serious. Like it's special. So I'll give me Buddy Hield. And then number 11, give me Malcolm Brogdon. You know, a traditional point guard, a guy that can pass the ball, facilitate, guy can hit the open shot. Um, he's not the most sexy player in the league, but he gets things done. He can run an offense. He can, set guys up to get easy looks. He can do the pick and roll game, like plays at his own pace. He's a good talent, great talent. So
That's a tough one. You definitely had the guys I was gonna say. Yeah, I like Malcolm Brogdon. I like Buddy Hield too. I remember kind of that draft, hoping and wishing that he was going to be a Laker, but I know obviously age, obviously not that high as Bi, but him coming out of Oklahoma, I know a lot of people were kind of worried and concerned about age and stuff. But I mean, talent is talent. Like passing the eye test and be able to again score, and being a fantastic shooter the way he is. I'm not mad at it. Malcolm Brogdon. The thing is about Malcolm Brogdon is like pace. Like a lot of people don't really appreciate pace the way they should. Like we talk about SGA and the way he plays, but I think Brogdon is another sleeper when it comes to that. It's like you don't always have to be going 100 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't always have to just be bam, 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 bam. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Especially with size at that one position. But yeah, man, I kind of wish he would have fell a little bit lower, but I get it. All right, so you went with Brogdon and Buddy Hield. So after that, I'm gonna go with Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley could score, man. I know a lot of people, obviously talk about the big three that they have out there in Minnesota. Cat, Anthony Edwards, and D'Lo, of course, duh. But when Malik really turns it on, like when he gets hot, like when he's going, it's very dope to watch and it's very tough to guard. And I think I won't go crazy and say like he's the X factor for them, obviously, especially with Cat.
He can be.
But what I'm saying though, it's tough to say that with one guy who just had literally a 60 piece, another guy who some are comparing to be the next Michael Jordan. And then you got a guy in D'Lo who number 2 overall pick, and we know he was done making All-Star games and being traded as many times as he has at a young age, but still producing. So, but yeah, I mean Malik Beasley, shout outs to him. And I would say if I had to choose one more, it's. You want to know who I got next?
Oh,
I got Zubac.
Yeah, that's not a bad pickup.
Yeah, I mean, so I think as you get later and later on in the draft, you start to realize that like the star power or star potential shifts. And now you really are just picking players to fit certain pieces of the puzzle, right? Like
starters.
Exactly. You're not always trying to, swing for the fences with every single pick. Not everyone is going to be a Manu Ginobili or an Isaiah Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these guys is, just draft them, help them, develop and have them play the role that might be needed to win a championship. But yeah, I got Malik Beasley, and then after that, I'm gonna go Zubac.
What number are we on?
14.
14. It's crazy because people made, like you said, like when you start looking at what we know compared to what really happened, like this draft, it's gonna be like a whole lot of players that are way more talented than this player that I'm about to pick that was undrafted. But at the same time, it's kind of like it's not always about talent and skill set in the league. It's about like carving out a role. It's about work ethic. It's about like, can you stick? Can you take your talent and make it less to fit a role, fit a situation? That's a lot of people talk about like guys that don't make it in the league. A lot of it's because they can't be in a certain role. You know what I'm saying? They can't there's sometimes it's a thing in this league where it's just like some guys are just too good to be the 12th, 13th, 14th man. Michael Beasley been going through that for years. He's just too damn good to be in practice killing your starters. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it sucks. It sucks, but it's just like, what role do you put Michael Beasley in? That's has been his entire career because it's like, he's too good to be the 14th, 15th man. He's not good enough to be like a starter because of like his shot selection and just like he's just kind of like got this and one type of feel, street ball type of mentality and stuff like that. That's why basketball feel and basketball IQ is very important. But number 4, to give me Alex Caruso. Hard worker, guy that works hard, plays defense, can hit open shots, can do a lot of good things. He's a role player. He's not a superstar role player. He's not a guy that's going to go out and get you 25, 30 points some nights. but he's a guy that can be a starter on a championship caliber team, like the Los Angeles Lakers, like he was in 2020 NBA Finals. He's also a guy that can, be a bench player that coming off the bench that can just do a lot of great things and like help your team win. Like he's a winning player. So give me Alex Caruso.
And I'm glad you mentioned that too about Alex, is that you do need winning players in this league, right? Like you need guys that you can plug in and guys that are selfless. And I think, when we're talking about undrafted guys now, right? Having that chip on their shoulder, because a lot of guys come into the league and just, half-ass it. You feel me? Like a lot of guys, you could just tell whether it be because like they feel like they've already proved themselves or what. But like when you have someone, especially when you look at the rest of the roster, if you already have superstars, right, and you already have players that might have ego problems, if you can fit in a player like Alex Caruso who's ready to win now and do whatever it takes, I mean, hey, great things that can happen. Who was that you said before, Alex?
You had it. You said.
Oh,
it
so it's your turn. Yeah, it's your turn. Go ahead. You got more. Yeah.
This gets nasty. This gets very nasty. This gets nasty. Give me what's his name? Damian Jones, Golden State Warriors. He's on Golden State Warriors right now.
Okay.
Center guy that plays hard. He can start for you. He can also come off the bench, give you high minutes if need be. But like solid pickup. I'll take him. 15.
Okay.
That's right on my 15 right there. Now it gets nasty. I know we're going to 24. It's a struggle.
I was about to say, we can blow through the these last numbers and then recap and talk about the top 7 or 8 picks.
Yeah. You writing down? You writing them down?
Yeah. So
all right, cool.
I got Gary Payton the second. That's my next pick.
It's not bad.
We talk about another undrafted guy, and it's funny. We talked about the Warriors before, and like a guy that's like 6'4" being like one of their best lob threats, right? And being like one of their best alley-oop threats. But I will say, it's kind of slash. It is pretty cool to kind of see everything he's doing with Golden State. But that would be my next pick, and then following that, I'm gonna go honestly. Hold on, let me write it down. I'm gonna go with Dorian Finney-Smith. Another I think defensive juggernaut that deserves even more attention. Another guy who I know obviously everyone talks about Luka, and when KP was there, it was those two, Luka and KP. The comparisons of Steve Nash as well as Dirk Nowitzki, but I think the pieces around Luka, one of those obviously being Dorian Finney-Smith, great defensive player, and I think he's someone who definitely deserves his recognition and the shine.
No, I think he plays well. He hits key shots. If he can keep developing his 3-point shot, he can be a great 3-and-D guy for a very, very long time. So I'm next, right?
Yeah.
Give me Derrick Jones Jr. Super athletic guy, can rebound, hustle guy, plays well, can guard on the perimeter. That's a guy that you can just plug in and like give you high minutes. It may be 10 minutes, it may be 20 minutes some nights. Just depends on like whatever he can give you, whatever the coach needs and stuff like that. It could be a spell for a guy that's playing bad. It can be like, get some energy on the basketball court. Like, I'll take him on my squad. Next pick, give me Damian Lee. Another guy I think that's on the Golden State Warriors right now. A guy that can score, like instant offense, If he gets minutes, like he can produce. Simple as that.
Yeah, and I'll make this one the last pick, and then we can go back.
That's 18.
Was it 8? Is 18? I'm writing down everyone that you have. I don't have the exact number, but I'm writing down everyone that you have. But yeah, so if I start off with the first pick and it was just one, then I'll end with the last pick and it just be one, so that we have the same. All right, so for my last pick, you know what? This one's tough.
You missing one that's.
I'm missing one?
Yeah.
All right, I don't believe I am, but I'm gonna go with Jake Layman. Who was that you said I was missing?
Nah, I had the wrong. I thought it was Marshall Plumlee. Plumlee. I thought it was another Plumlee.
That's not the yes. Yeah, not the same. But yeah, so yeah, just starting from the top, 2016 draft class. But like this, like I said, I definitely think it is top heavy. You talk about Ben, you talk about B.I. and Jaylen Brown. I do like the DeJounte Murray pick. Not surprised by it, of course. But I do like it, as well as Karis LeVert. Shout out. I mean, I'm trying to think. No, yeah, I like it. I'm still interested, man, to see Ben Simmons' return, though. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, Ben Simmons is a special player. I mean, when he does a lot of things well. Can handle the ball, can guard wings. Really great at finding open 3-point shooters, attacking the basket north to south. Super athletic, and what's important, what a thing that we don't talk about that in this era that needs to be talked about is just like defense, because nobody seems to play it anymore in this era. That's why we got every time you blink, somebody dropping 50 now. But can guard 1 through 5 on the basketball court. Like Ben Simmons is a special player. So like I still think an argument could be made that Ben Simmons should still be the number 1 overall pick. Still. Even though based on what we know now with Brandon Ingram and Jaylen Brown, an argument can still be made that he should be the number 1 overall pick. May not be the most, people may not disagree,
well,
but
of
it's
course,
still
the timing of it, I know.
Yeah, the timing, but that's the truth. Yeah, that's the truth.
I mean,
man.
yeah, it's still Ben Simmons, right? I don't want people to think that like, okay, that one game that people, because it's about to be a year now. It's about to be a year since that. But the only reason why I was hesitant to go with him at number 1 was because I haven't seen him play in a while. That was the only reason. And I know obviously, he's still a great basketball player, but
some things you don't forget. Like I said, he's a 6'10" forward that can do a lot of things. He's a 3-time All-Star. I think like people underestimate, like he hasn't played, in a year, but it's just kind of like it's certain things that like all his natural tools and gifts, he's always had. You know what I'm saying? Coming into it's just like the things that he needs to improve on has been people's biggest question mark, which is ultimately his shooting. Like he's not gonna forget how to pass. He's not gonna forget how to defend. He's not gonna forget how to rebound. He's not gonna forget how to like, be aggressive on the fast break transition. Like all those things are his God-given abilities and God-given gifts. So I feel like he's gonna be fine, but it's just kind of like everybody wants to see like, yo, can he develop his game more to be more than that? That's the thing. But it's just like now he's in a situation where like he's about to max out like his strengths where he may not have to develop. It's kind of like the Giannis, similar to Giannis. Like Giannis developing, he's getting in his bag, he's developing bag more, but it's just kind of like it's almost like he drop a 50-point finals and people talking about what you closeout games, like people talking about what you can't do. It's just like he may not need to do that. And now Ben Simmons is in a situation where it's just like he got shooters. He got shooters. And it's just kind of like, yo, like Patty Mills, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. I don't want to hear shoot. If he shoot the ball, Steve Nash should not play him the next game because he don't need to shoot. That's what everybody talking about. He needs to shoot. He don't need to shoot the ball. Like this is a situation. Like it's crazy how we about to go for a situation. Everybody's talking about Ben Simmons needs to shoot the ball. I don't want Ben Simmons shooting the ball. I want Ben Simmons going north to south, playing defense, rebounding, playing hard, and passing the damn ball because he don't need to shoot, and that's scary. Everybody talk about all the years about Ben Simmons. He needs to shoot. He needs to work on his game. He's in a situation he don't need to shoot. I'm telling you, like Brooklyn Nets, Ben Simmons, get back. Finals. Still a finals contender. That's simple to me.
I mean, hey man, I'm rooting for him. I really am. I'm rooting for him and Kyrie.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 of the most hated guys in the league.
3
on
Kevin
one
Durant.
team.
3. They got a 3-headed monster.
Yeah,
people hate, bro. Anytime people talking about does Kevin Durant have real rings? Like, come on, bro. Kevin Durant's one of the most hated people in the NBA.
That's a drawn out hatred. Like if you hate Kevin Durant, that means you've been hating on him for a while. This Ben Simmons stuff is fresh.
I don't know about that.
this Ben Simmons stuff. Nobody was shitting on Ben Simmons less than over a year ago.
Oh yeah.
Kyrie. I mean, Boston might have hated Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? For again obvious reasons, but no one. This shit is new for Ben. Yeah. Realistically, why would people dislike Ben Simmons? What before that playoff series?
It was
what
other
reason?
Things. It was a shooting building and stuff like that, and talking about the lack of like
Yeah, but people already
engine
knew
and
that
stuff
though.
like that. Yeah, but
that was already known though.
It was still vocalized. It was the workout videos in the summer, and then he gets in.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? People been hating on
Okay.
Ben Simmons. I think people
Okay.
forget. They been hating on Ben Simmons a while, man.
Okay,
Like, it's been a while, man.
All right,
It's been a while.
I try. Maybe
it's been a while. Yeah,
the workout videos. Yeah, those might have got a little too active. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they been hating on Ben Simmons a little minute, man. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
get back, brother, because you're special.
I'm with you. Because them workout videos. I see. All right. So to me, there's nothing wrong with like workout videos during the summer, during the off season, shit like that. At the end of the day, it's still your social media. You feel me? But I think the problem with a lot of people was like, dog, we've seen this shit 100 times. You know what I'm saying? But even still though, so had he been silent or had he posted himself like at a concert or doing some other shit, people would still have a problem and tell him like, yo, you should be in the lab. You should be in the gym. So there's no winning. It's almost like if you're Ben Simmons, you can't post because someone's going to say something about you doing regardless.
You know what the Brooklyn Nets do? They just collect all the hated superstars. That's what they do. They get Kyrie Irving, they get Kevin Durant, they get James Harden. Oh, they swap James Harden for Ben Simmons. They just collect all the hated superstars in the NBA.
Who's next?
All right, who's next? They're the villains. They're the villains. They're the villains in the league, and it's fine. Embrace it. Embrace it.
I can't tell right now. I'm trying to think what other players in the league might be hated. What other players in the league might be?
Well,
who should join them?
Well, Russ, they ready to burn Russell Westbrook down Jersey out in LA. It's crazy. Like
in LA. To hear you say in LA too is so damn tough.
I can't even imagine what he's going through. It's crazy. It's an unfortunate situation what's going on with the Lakers right now. But this is not. I don't want to talk about it. But Russ is up there. We know LeBron historically. You got either you love LeBron, you hate LeBron.
Yeah, but
we
I need something more recent. I like the Russ one.
Let me
not say like. Let me not say like. But,
I'll tell you another one. It's another one. We go to the East Coast.
I think I know you're going to say
who. It is the city that he's from. Kemba Walker. It's crazy. The Knicks fans were praying. They was happy this man. There was like the one good thing that's happened in New York Knicks season. When Kevin Walker shut down, it's crazy, bro. Like, I don't know. Like,
oh, you're saying they were happy when he got clipped, and it was
this been nasty homecomings. That's been the homecomings we expected for Kevin Walker and Russell Westbrook. So like, those are two guys right there. This season's been like very, very brutal for, and nobody could even like imagine.
Yeah, we can do better though. Those are obvious. I want one that's not Jimmy Butler. I don't want a Tyler Hero. Let me stop thinking of Miami guys.
Nah, that's it. That's the rest. That's what we.
Yeah, but those players are disliked because they just aren't playing the best. You know, like Ben.
You would a player that's just disliked. Rudy Gobert. Yeah, there we go. You just want a player that nobody really like to play. Like it was like Rudy Gobert. It's just kind of like. And I get it. Like, Rudy Gobert's talented.
I get it. You're part of that fan base. That's why you get it.
Great rim protector. No, I ain't nobody. He doesn't have a personality. And then it's just like he thinks he's something that he's necessarily not. That's what makes people a little frustrated. Because then you see guys like Shaq's got to come on TNT and talk about like, yo, like, he getting paid $182 million for 15 and 12.
For lobs.
For 15 and 12. And then me, my biggest issue is the same thing I point out to most of these guys that win the Defensive Player of the Year every year. Like, they're winning these awards, and then we get to the playoffs, they got to be off the floor when it matters the most. That shit, that what does it to me with Rudy Gobert. Like, it was a couple times he was off the floor when it mattered the most. Like, and he's winning Defensive Player of the Years because he can't guard on the perimeter. Like, he's improved. He's improved somewhat. Like, people want to talk about the clip with Luka Doncic this earlier. He got fouled out of the 3 possessions like twice, but it's just like, all right, whatever. They didn't call it. So people's like, Rudy Gobert gone. He's knocking down Luka Doncic. I'm like, all right, y'all win. Y'all had y'all fun.
Yeah.
And that's what y'all think. And we see things like Nikola Jokic. Like, analytics say that Nikola Jokic is not only the best offensive player. I have no problem with that. But they say he's the best defensive player according to analytics, NBA math. And I'm just like, then we go and watch the game, the Battle of the Bigs, and we see Joel Embiid cooking them every possession. Like, it's I don't know what people be watching. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's crazy. That's why you gotta watch. You gotta actually watch, because like if you go off the box score and analytics, you'll be thinking some guys are, better than what they really are. And that's what happens when these awards are getting handed to, like, yo, give me this award because of analytics and box score numbers. But
know your role and do it well. That's all.
yeah.
Like, if you're just rim protector, you feel me? Do that. And to hear you mention Rudy Gobert in the perimeter defense, I don't care nobody say. I'm going to always remember that clip against Stephen Curry. That shit was nasty.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The spin?
Yeah.
The defensive spin. What are we doing?
it is stuff.
Do you know how much of a... I don't give a shit.
It is stuff, but yeah.
Get your ankles broke. All right. You know what I'm saying? You just got caught off a boogie. Shit happens. We even seen players get, crossed up twice. Shout out to Allen Iverson. But a defensive spin? And the National Basketball Association? That's disgusting.
I just really
and
don't
then
feel
they
like
get a contract that... Let me. I'm chilling. I'm chilling.
It's whatever.
I'm not counting chips, but damn.
It's whatever.
Yeah.
A max contract. Max.
What do we do? They must know something I don't. But who knows? I was thinking maybe this is the year for Utah. Who knows, man?
No.
Maybe this is the year.
It's not, because once again, Jordan Clarkson got to become the second best player in the playoffs. It's not. It's not. Unless Rudy Gobert is going to turn into Shaq or Karl Malone. Or Karl Malone. Unless he's going to go boost that 15 and 12 up to 25 and 17. Unless he's going to do something crazy like that, which I doubt it. That's not going to happen.
It's a lot of lobs, bro, man. It's a lot of lobs.
Not going to happen.
Yeah. But yeah, just a couple of housekeeping items, y'all, as we wrap up. You already know the deal. 5-star rating wherever you listen to your podcasts. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. All right. And just like that, y'all, we gone. Peace.
What's up, y'all? It's Theus McBee. Make sure you go follow No Pump Fakes on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcasts.